Welcome. Let's talk about how to make good notes. Now, a lot of students come up saying that we need to prepare notes for our competitive examinations. How should we go around? Now, there are two extremes in it. Some of the students make the notes so lengthy that it does not actually remain a notes, it becomes the book itself, and the others summarize it so much that towards the end they are unable to decipher what they have written in the notes. So you have to maintain a kind of balance between the two, and a right approach to it would be leaving out the things that you are really sure about, taking down the key terminologies from each of the unit or each of the chapter that you are doing, and finally removing any kind of connecting words. So that's the commonest way we say of making something precise. So removing unnecessary connecting words. Again, I recommend that don't go for others' notes. So if you are going for notes that are written by someone else, or your friend who is from a science background, you are from, let's say, an arts background, he would write water as H2O, and in the exam you won't understand what is H2O and you would write H2O as it is. So that is a kind of common gap that occurs when you are sharing the notes, or someone else has a different mental construct. For him that topic might be easy, for you that topic might be difficult. So don't just go for others' notes or toppers' notes and feel that those are sufficient for me. Either refer the standard books or a kind of good summary if you can get for something which is not abbreviated, I would say, then it's fine. If it is highly abbreviated, then create your own notes. Again, there are three things that we need to maintain. First is a good efficiency in the writing. Whatever is oral should be written down. So that's good for the revision. So sometimes you have certain things in the mind which is beyond a certain text, but towards the exam you tend to forget it. So it's better to jot those down. And the third important thing is, whenever you are doing a kind of extensive reading, selective reading becomes very important. So from that extensive perspective, bring out certain selective things, and that would help you achieve your goal. Now you have some of the important quotes that were there. Those are really interesting to form a idea about it. So Brian told about jotting things down in black and white, and that's what is basically notes. On the other hand, you have Steve Jobs, who talked about you can join the dots only when you connect them backwards. So once you have read the whole chapter, then only you can go back and create the notes. It's not only that I am reading and writing the notes. That's practically an incorrect way of formulating a notes. So notes could be prepared only once you have done reading the whole of the chapter, and then you can quickly go back and summarize. The first person was Walter Ponk, who talked about writing the notes, and he gave 3 steps for it. So the 3 things he tried to mention was, first is the notes itself, so summarizing the content that is given in the text. The second is the key points. So just name down the key points or the terminologies, we can say. So those terminologies bring in a kind of visual picture towards the end. So the last day when you are revising those, you have all the key terminologies with you, and you know these key terminologies would be part of this answer if it's a long answer. If it is a kind of objective paper, you would understand that these key terminologies are important part of the question. And finally, a quick summary, what was the thing that you could take away from that lecture or from that topic. So those are the things that you need to understand while framing your answers. And one of the most important thing is keep the fear out. So fear would enter only if you allow it to enter. So as deep as you allow the fear to enter, you would be afraid of creating the notes, you would be afraid of reading bigger books or thicker books. So that's the only way you can keep the fear out, is allowing it to penetrate only till the level you want to penetrate it. So be a kind of open-minded person, read as many texts as you can. Don't be afraid of reading a lot, don't be afraid of bigger or thick books. So that's the best way to formulate, create good notes, do extensive and selective reading. So that's something about writing good notes. You can create mind maps, that's through the Coggle app that you have recently. So you can just create a picture where you can have a quick summary, but that should be done by you or yourself, because otherwise someone else is doing on your behalf. You won't be able to understand what actually this means or what actually is revealed under this. So those are some of the key points that you need to take into consideration. Have a great day ahead.